recording. You would have gotten that notification, and we're going to get started for the day. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me here on a Thursday evening, or perhaps Friday morning time for you, depending on where you're joining me. As you know, or if this is your first time, my name is Joony, and I host this AMA, or Ask Me Anything sessions, every Thursday. It's been about a month for me to do these sessions, of course, sponsored by our wonderful node, the leading node of North America, DA, or Dream Achievers, here in Toronto. You are welcome to join, and let everybody else know of this link for them to join in and ask any questions they may have for K Stadium, and of course KOK if you would like as well. I noticed that after my Monday sessions, where I do more of a general overview and a one-on-one, a lot more people wanted to do a little bit more in-depth questions, which I found could be a little bit misleading for those who are new to K Stadium and KOK. So I arranged this separate sessions on Thursday nights for you to come in and ask the hard to ask questions, of course, or the questions you may have that is a little bit more on the technical side, and I love to help out. And I try to have a little bit of a follow and of a how-to guide at the end of our AMA sessions as well. So if there's anything you'd like me to show you by the end of the night, please leave it onto the chat, and I'll see what I can do for today. For today's session, it's going to be very brief introductions about who I am, which I've already done so far, and then I'm going to explain to you what K Stadium is and how K Stadium works, and perhaps give you updates about how K Stadium is working so far. And then we're going to jump into our main segment of the day, which is the AMA session, where you get to ask questions. So please, 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 if you have any questions, get those ready, because for a bulk of the time, and it usually gets you guys about 5 to 6 minutes to get started and asking all the questions, have those questions ready so that we can jump right on and utilize our time to the max, so that we can have a wonderful and very thoughtful and informative session for today. So, sorry, I skipped so many slides with that. So this is me with the photo at the bottom, which I was hosting the Volume 3 version of the K Stadium's convention called Rise Up this year, which was really big in celebration of the K Stadium's beta launch, because at the time, the closed beta had already closed, and then the open beta was about to launch. So to celebrate that into the next steps of what K Stadium is, along with the KOK ecosystem, I was there. That's me. I've been speaking on behalf of the English community here in Canada and Toronto for a very long time. That is really the bulk of my expertise. So please do not misunderstand my speech as something coming from the KOK Foundation or the organization themselves. I mainly did a lot of the homework, a lot of the research myself, that you can find most of this information online. And of course, I also like to ask a lot of questions to my fellow frontiers who've started the business or the foundation or the KOK ecosystem that they've been part of much longer than I have. So throughout all those questions, I realized that I was in a very particular space where I can speak both Korean and English rather fluently. And with that, I would love to really pass on this information for the English community, because I noticed that a lot of the English community did not have all the information at hand, and they were making decisions a little bit more rushed, or perhaps without being informed. And I am very much against that. I think the informed decisions are the best decisions, perhaps in a time when there are no right or wrong decisions. So this is why we do our Thursday AMAs. I ask you to join me, to come on to my Monday night meetings on the same time, same Zoom code, also sponsored by the DA group, so that you can learn more about KOK and K Stadium's origins. And also I do an updates about those platforms at the time there as well. And if you know anybody else around you who would love to learn more about KOK and K Stadium, or who has lots of questions, please implore them to come join us here on Thursdays. So let's get right into it. The changes. To some of you, this may be new, but to some of you, this might be a review Either way, let's get down to it. Really, we are here because we have realized that now there are not just one, but two platforms we have to think about, worry about, and be part of, really. It's a two bird, one stone. No, it's really two birds and two no stones here. Really just amazing things that we can catch with KOK Play, the platform that we always have known, and K Stadium, the new platform, now in its beta version, but not closed beta, but an open beta that you can participate and try to understand how it's going to fit together in the ecosystem of KOK. So on the left is the platform that we know very well, where we understood that was a mining reward of 4%, a referral reward for 100%. No, now reduced to 50%. And at the time, there was even level-based rankings. And on the right, awards like Community Pool, which I bet you've heard of very recently, where there are basic rewards, ranking rewards, block producer rewards, and other types of rewards as well. And to understand how these two play a role together in the ecosystem, let's go back in time a little bit where only one app existed and we only had to really learn about KOK Play. And I hope to a lot of you here, you have been utilizing KOK Play for a while now, and you have understood the various functions and its many transition and updates it's had so far. So in KOK Play, what is KOK Play? It was a blockchain. At first, it was just a platform for contents, but because it utilized its notion of utilizing blockchain technology, it was a blockchain-based digital contents platform. And it's growing, and it is right now an ecosystem of users who wants to consume and develop, produce, and share digital contents through there. And not just any digital contents, but really for its original purposes, the K contents that the entire world is very excited to look at. And this is what you see right now if you go into KOK Play. But to a lot of us for a very long time, we actually saw that there was an investment opportunity attached to the arm of KOK Play. And what that was is as this company is growing and it's looking for its early stages as its users, it's also looking for people who understands and believe in the trajectory of the business and wants to be early stakeholders, or shall I call it a proof of stake model, where the company incentivizes you to purchase a stake into the chain, elongate the chain, make it a more of a robust community, and therefore receive a token of appreciation, literally by word, the KOK token. And that was the 4% mining reward, which we still can receive and take part of now. But there was a time when this number was much higher, when, of course, in the beginning, the coin mining rate was higher referral rates of 100%. Now it's at 50%. And even at one point, there was a level-based ranking system, which is now gone. However, throughout the time, we have utilized this side as an investment opportunity. And to understand these big changes, and especially to K Stadium, is basically saying this investment opportunistic side of the KOK ecosystem is branching away mostly into K Stadium. The foundation has understood that there's a lot of potential and a lot of people who are interested in this idea of what KOK community can become. And because of that, people are willing to invest and we are willing to really take part of this opportunity to grow their assets. So to go away from a proof of stake model that the KOK Play uses, they moved on to a delegated proof of stake model where you don't really do the stake yourself. You actually delegate your stake to a certain, let's say, node producer, or in our case, a stadium owner. And to this node operator or block producer, we stake our asset or our stake. Sorry, we delegate our stake. That is a better way to explain that. And that is really the basis of a DPoS. But you notice on the right, I've written DPoI. Now, this is very unique to K Stadium because instead of delegating your stake, you're actually delegating your investment, which is why you would realize if you've already taken part of K Stadium's community pool, your delegated stake is not in KOK, but in SOP, as a governance token running on the KOK mainnet. That's right. There is a mainnet that is available in K Stadium as a closed beta, but which means that the KOK assets that you receive as a reward for doing a DPoI, or delegated proof of investment style of staking or mining, the cryptocurrency KOK that you receive in K Stadium is actually the KOK coin. It is now its version where it owns its own technology, which is the entire point of how K-Stadium came to be with this merge of the technological foundation that was Medium. Now they renamed themselves as Meta M, but they are quite the same company, also from South Korea, who has the software, hardware, and the manpower infrastructure to handle this type of technology that KOK Play really needed and now has because they work together. And through these DPOI methodologies in K-Stadium's community pool, now there's groups being formed, and these groups can now very soon act as DAOs, or decentralized autonomous organizations, which I would love to get into during our questions. But this is really the basic overview of how this investment opportunistic side of K-Stadium came to be. It was the separation of these two separate roles that KOK Play had at once is now being moving to K-Stadium. Now, if we're looking at these changes, it's also easy to really think about the numbers. And what I mean by the numbers is let's really think about where we can invest in KOK Play or in K-Stadium. And right now, the numbers, unlike when I started these presentations, are roughly the same, but different. What do I mean by that? Well, in KOK Play, we very well know that the mining rate is a 4% monthly gain. Now, it's easy to say 4% monthly, but of course, depending on the amount that you may have, it might be closer to 3.7 or 3.9, 3.8, or a more decimal point, but it is something roughly around 4%, just to make the math easy. And you might know in the KOK Play side, excuse me, this has been actually decreasing over time. Pardon me. But on the K-Stadium side, this 4% actually has a chance of becoming a higher percentage in return. But also, how this 4% is calculated is quite different. For example, in the KOK Play side, this 4% has been going down and will only go down. Mathematically and systematically, this number is supposed to go down because you are mining the cryptocurrency KOK token, and mining rates over time always goes down. This is just how cryptocurrency mining works. For example, the mining rate of Bitcoin, which is one of the oldest cryptocurrencies in the world, is right now extremely slow, where you can only produce perhaps 5 blocks a month, which is very, very low compared to its early stages. Unlike that side, on the K-Stadium side, the rewards that you can get, the KOK coin, is actually only going to go up. And I'm going to use the slides in the future after this to explain to you why that is. But let's focus on how that 4% will affect you. On KOK Play, the 4% is based on a US dollar value of the KOK's Play's asset that you have put a stake on, or a POS on. So your proof of stake might be valued at $10,000 in a US dollar value, and you are getting 4% of that. But on the K-Stadium side, the 4% is based on a KOK quantity that you have put a stake on. What this means, that is on the left, KOK's Plays 4% and the gains are very sensitive to market fluctuations. For example, right now what we're seeing, where the market price is almost at 45 cents, is it? And at the current platform price, went all the way up to $7 US dollar figure, and it stayed there. And because of this difference, we are having a lot of hard times. Therefore, the earnings that you can really get on KOK Play is sensitive to market fluctuations, which we are in right now, which is why a lot of us are not very happy about this situation currently that we're in. Whereas in K-Stadium, the 4% value, or the monthly invested interest value that you will get back as a reward, is independent to market fluctuations because the calculation is based on the KOK quantity and you receive the rewards as KOK. So it really doesn't matter what the value is in the market. Based on what you have invested in the beginning, that will always stay true. So this is why perhaps the investment opportunistic side of KOK in K-Stadium is far more exciting. Now, let's talk about that green arrow that I meant that is going to keep going up. How does that work? Well, the first thing you'll need to do is you'll have to take part of the community pool. And what you see in the community pool is literally by saying you have delegated a certain amount of KOK as an investment into the pool where everybody else in the community has added in so far. So no matter which SO you've chosen, as long as you participated, you are now part of the community pool. Now, how will this number keep going up? To understand how the numbers keeps going up, we have to understand what's going to happen in the near future. And in that near future, in the KOK Play app or the platform, we're going to see an increase in user growth. Now, why it's that is because of the 100% free, completely free referral system, which means now people can create accounts, put a $0 stake on, and benefit from adding somebody else as a referral to get $100 worth of credit as a mileage that they can use in the application. And of course, they can also pull into the KOK Play app to be part of the many users and the content watchers of the many new contents that KOK Play has been planning on and has been releasing and will release more on the KOK Contents platform. So through these very various changes and announcements that we all know very well, the foundation is really aiming for this high number of user growth. Now, what happens when these users grow is now, as they are participating in the KOK Play platform, everything they do and anything they do, like for example, playing the new Hotel King game, they are incurring gas fees. Now, keep that in mind. Another thing that happens when the number of users grow is that this market's number, the number of heads grow up. And then as there are more people in this market, more people are willing to sell to these people, meaning they want to produce more content, more games, more interesting, pardon me, more interesting information, more interesting content for the number of many users in KOK Play. And that those people or those content providers, those developers, we call them decentralized apps or applications or dApps, D-apps. And as these D-apps grow, what they have to do is also incur gas fees as they exist inside the platform, as they come in, they do airdrops, they purchase their KOK to be distributed. So as they enter the KOK ecosystem in the KOK Play platform, they will also incur gas fees. Now, the reason why I say gas fees so many times, gas fees, is because for a while, when the KOK ecosystem did not have its own platform to run on, did not have its own blockchain technology to run on, they borrowed Ethereum's ERC20 chain for its blockchain capabilities, which means all of these gas fees or transaction fees were paid in Ether to Ethereum. However, now that the mainnet is open, all of these gas fees will incur KOK transaction fees as gas fees. And all of this KOK will be gathered up into a pool where it is distributed to people who have taken part of the K Stadium's community pool. This is where the supply of the KOK comes from. It is not that the foundation keeps printing new KOK. It is basically taking the gas fees from the entire ecosystem and distributing it amongst those people who are participating in increasing the investment value or the community value of the entire KOK ecosystem, where this again fits the whole fair, share, and enable, meaning people who have invested to increase the value of the community will get a reward back in doing so. And that reward is coming from these gas fees. And of course, at the moment, though, because it's still in its beta function, these gas fees are not being distributed. And the only thing being distributed in the community pool right now is the inflation supply that is supposed to be added that is supposed to be added at a fixed rate per year into the community pool. So we are very excited for when these gas fees are going to turn on, and hopefully soon that will even happen during the beta version. So now that I've explained to you where that influx of KOK comes from, we also have to understand where else can it come from. So to review, there's inflation coin, which I believe is 100 million KOK per year being added into circulation to replace all the lost KOK, all the lost wallets, all the lost pricing figures. And inflation coin, it is not unusual for a cryptocurrency to have fixed inflation coin, especially when it's reaching final mining phase. The next part is transaction fees or gas fees that I just mentioned to you. And lastly is the investment rewards, where when the apps enter, they have to utilize the KOK and influx that into the community pool as KOK. And this is where it's all going to come in from. And again, to review, right now, only the inflation supply is coming in, and we are seeing a $4% figure monthly rate. Now, when transactions fees are added, investment rewards are added, it's only going to add into the percentage back that is going to be capable of being distributed in K Stadium's community pool. So then, let us say that you have participated in K Stadium community pool. How can you calculate how much percent that you're going to get out of the 4%? What do I mean by that? Well, depending on how you have delegated or where you have delegated in the K Stadium's many SOs or node operators or block producers, your percentage might look a little bit different than the others. And what I mean by that is, yes, there is a set amount of KOK that is going to be distributed to everybody in the community pool, but it will be distributed in a fair manner and shared depending on how. So what do I mean by that? First, 70% of the entire KOK that is going to be distributed, let's say on that day of everybody in community pool, will be distributed amongst anyone and everyone who has participated in K Stadium's community pool, meaning as long as you have entered, you can take a slice of the pie of the 70%. The remaining 20% is called ranking rewards. This means you can take advantage of being the 20% distribution of the KOK, if you have participated in the top 12 nodes. What do I mean by nodes or SOs or block producers? As you will enter the K Stadium app, you will notice that there's a list of now 19, I believe, SOs. And if you have delegated your stake or you have participated in the community pool through the top 12 nodes in the ranking system, you can take advantage of 20% more of the distributed KOK that day. But of course, there's a 33% difference per node, meaning between the first ranking to the second ranking, there's a 33% decrease, another 33% decrease to the third, to the fourth, fifth, sixth, so on and so forth, all the way till the 12th. And to the final 10% of the pie out of the 100% that is being distributed in K Stadium, we call that block reward, where as long as you're on the top 6 nodes or the top 6 SOs, you can receive a 6 equally divided part of the remaining 10% of the KOK in distribution. It's a lot of math, and I don't expect any of us to be actually punching in the calculator to exactly get the rewards back. But what I can tell you is, depending on which node you go in, your percentage aren't supposed to be drastically different. Yes, one more time speaking to you, the voting power that you see that are drastically different doesn't actually reflect the interest rate that you may get depending on where you have joined. Because another thing that you have to take consideration is how many people have actually pulled into these nodes. If you have gotten into a higher ranking node with 1 million people, but a lower ranking node with only 100 people, even though in the lower ranking node, you'll get a smaller pie to be distributed amongst you, since there's only 100 of you, you would get a different amount, or perhaps even more to a higher ranking node with more people inside. So yet, once again, I don't expect you to actually do the calculations yourself. Perhaps right now, one of the things during this beta phase, the SOs can do the calculations for you to kind of guide you, but things have been changing very rapidly, especially with the first and second asset transfer promotion that's been happening recently. So it's a very fluctuating market. So does that mean you should wait? Well, if you want to. Do you have to wait? No, you can join right now. You can delegate your KOK right now to the DA node, as I am here speaking for you, of course. But of course, you can also think about it as in, what happens when I delegate into a different node, or I partially delegate into different places, and later I want to change my mind? Well, you will notice in the app, there's an undelegate button, which is currently not activated, but once that perhaps at one point of the beta stage, this will be available to press, which means, in my logical guess, you'll be able to undelegate your stake or your investment value in that SO and redelegate it to somebody else. But on the white papers, it is noted there is a 10% penalty for you of doing so, which is a very hefty penalty, if anything. So it's basically made so that you don't undelegate and redelegate every day. But again, it is beta. In the beta phase, it means a test phase to see how we, the market, reacts and utilizes this platform and this ecosystem, if it is sustainable, and again, if it is indeed fair. So expect a lot of changes to happen. And right now, it's only the beta phase. But the good news is, by participating in this test phase, you can still earn KOK by being part of the early investors, shall I call it, to the SOs. So that is the bulk of the presentation that I have about the updates. And I implore you to ask questions about K Stadium or any part that I have mentioned so far. But of course, if you have questions about KOK Play as well, you can definitely do that as well. And it usually takes you guys a couple of minutes to ask questions. But if you already have some, raise your hand on the on Zoom and I can unmute you or put it up onto the chat. But while I do that, I'll get started with my own questions. Question number 1. I participated in the first and second promotion, but I didn't get an email. What should I do? Well, as you may have seen on the announcements recently, we are currently accepting the foundation is currently accepting the second promotion asset transfer applicants who wants to move 100% of their mining asset from KOK Play into their K Stadium that they have applied for, including what they have restaked all the way up till today. So even if you didn't receive an email, I say try it anyways. Go to event.kstadium.io, type in that ID and email, yes, that you have registered with, and then press on that button. See if you get a email. I do have a little bit of a link for you to see on how to follow along. I know everything is in Korean, but I know that if you utilize Chrome, it actually auto-translates for you, and you can kind of follow along. It's not very complicated at all, but I did make a guide sheet that you can follow along, and you can find that here. Let me type it, K Stadium. Let's see, https:// here we go. That's the link I've made. You can go into it now. You'll find other things that you can download as well. Of course, the K Stadium app or the KOK Play app and all the other videos. And there's even a video on how to do it. But click on download Joony slides for KOK and K Stadiums. On that folder, you will notice that there's an image file saying how to accept promotions, 100% promotion only. You can follow those rough translations. It still works for the second promotion as well. And if you swore that you have applied for it and you even got an email, or you should have gotten an email and you tried it anyways, and it says, no, unmatching, or we cannot find your account, then please make an account on help.kstadium.io and let them know. Okay. And yes, from F. Rogers, we have a question. Wonderful. If a person is in the top 12 nodes, then they are also in the top 6 nodes. Do T. Does that mean will they receive 2 rewards? Yes. So it's just a higher percentage. It's not like they'll receive 1 reward and then another reward. It's just the percentage that entire node receives is much higher, and you are part of that node. So therefore, you do receive more of the 100% being distributed. So meaning you will take part of the 70% basic reward that everybody gets. You'll also take part of the 20% of the top 12 ranking rewards that you'll get. And you'll also receive the top 10% by being part of the top 6 SOs. So your percentage will be very high. So depending where the node is, that percentage is being calculated for that person, for everybody in that node. So that SO will have a percentage set, and everybody in that node will be distributed that percentage. I hope I answered your question. So yes, they'll be able to receive the rewards in both percentages, sure, but they don't receive like 2 separate amounts. They receive it as one, just a higher percentage. Okay, my friend from from Colombia has a question.
Hello, hello. How are you, sir?
Good. How are you, my friend?
Please take care of your voice because we need your voice for share the a lot of information that you have.
It's been a it's been a long week for me, a lot of talking. So, but don't worry, I'm staying hydrated, lots of water.
Okay, thanks so much. Again, thank you so much for share that important information to us.
You're welcome.
Okay, I have a question. Okay, when we take off the all the tokens, for example, now it's more than 2 million tokens KOK the in K Stadium.
Yes,
The idea is that the rest of the token going to impact in the value of the tokens, right? That's the idea.
very good. That
That's
is
the
the
idea.
idea. You're right.
Yeah. My question is, right now, the 2 million tokens, more than 2 million tokens that there are now in K Stadium, they already now out of their circulation, or they going to in a specific day take off all of circulation?
Ah, um, have you participated in K Stadium yet? No,
Yeah, yeah, yes,
you
already
have.
participated. Yeah.
Okay, so you would have noticed. So let me answer your question first, and then let me iterate. To answer your question, yes, they are already out of circulation. And to answer that question a little bit more lengthy, let me explain to you what happened when you enter the community pool. Let's say, and it's not 2 million, it's 224 million, right?
Yeah, yeah, sorry,
Yeah,
200.
no, don't worry. I'm just saying there's definitely a lot in there. But let's just
Mhm,
say you took 1,000 KOK that you had in the KOK play and you put it into your wallets in K Stadium.
mhm,
Okay. So if you didn't take part of the asset transfer promotion, you can right now buy KOK and send it to the K Stadium wallet through MetaMask and the bridge. And when it first arrives, it arrives as KOK. So that KOK is technically still part of circulation. However, when you change that KOK into SOP, so do you know what I mean by that? When you
yeah,
change
yeah,
it to
yeah, yeah,
SOP?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, good. So when you change the KOK into SOP, it's a governance token. And this is where the DPoS becomes a DPOI. You make it into investment value, stadium owner power, SOP. And the KOK, once it becomes SOP, that SOP can never become KOK again. Never.
So in that moment, the KOK token take off circulation, right? In that
Out
moment.
of correct, absolutely out of circulation. So I can leave that 1,000 SOP in my wallet and it's already out of circulation. And when I put that into a node, into an SO, again, it's still out of circulation, but the value still exists, right? So so why would you want to take your money out of circulation? Well, if it completely burns and goes out of circulation, I mean, good for you. You're definitely doing that for everybody else, including yourself, but you're losing value. That doesn't really seem fair because everybody else benefits for your sacrifice. And what
Mhm,
K Stadium allows you to do that is that sacrifice you made is still worth of value, right? So you'll be rewarded for what you've done that. And therefore, you are getting this KOK coin as reward. So we are actively reducing the supply or the circulated value amount of quantity of KOK out in circulation, therefore increasing the value. And for doing so, you are given a incentive or a reward. And again, this is what token economy is. So yes,
mhm.
to answer your question, once it becomes SOP, it can never turn back to KOK. So yes, it goes out of circulation. However,
Okay. Yes.
in the future, they did say, so for example, that value, that 224 million KOK in the community pool, that number still exists though, right?
Mhm.
Because there is a such thing called coin burning or crypto asset burning, where they literally just burn the data out of circulation where it just no
Okay.
longer exists, right? So when we put it into community pool, it has the same effect as in it's out of circulation, but that data still exists. That value still exists. Right now, it exists as a value to give you a certain amount of investment back. So it has been said that the SOs will be able to vote on what they can do with that value that is being stored in the community pool. Now, does that mean they're going to suddenly pull out the KOK in the community pool and start using it? No, they cannot do this. It is impossible to do so, but they can use it as leverage. And how that's going to exactly look like, we have to wait. This is really in the future we're talking about, but it has that function as well. And this is explained a little bit more in detail in the white papers. And of course, when the time is right and the SOs can actually start moving in this manner, more explanation of how they're going to use that as leverage will be explained. But I want to let you know that they can. But when they do, it is not that they're suddenly pulling this KOK out of this big bag of cash. No, they're just utilizing the assets that is in there, and they can decide what they can do as the money is in there is a leveraged amount. It's a bit tricky to understand, but it's basically saying we are willing to accept the fact that you have a certain amount of asset and you don't need to make a payment with that asset, but because you have such big assets sitting in your bank, we are willing to offer you something. So they can really use that as a tool for themselves to do something. So this is really where it's going to be really interesting in the future. But this is really far into the future, so we don't have to really worry about it right now.
Okay, but okay, if we say that the KOK token right now is the tokens that are already in K Stadium, they are right now off circulation.
Yep.
Because there are a lot of tokens. We're talking about 200, more than 200 millions.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Of circulation.
Yep.
So my question is, because many people worry about the price in the market.
Yes. Yes.
So if 200 millions KOK tokens out of circulation don't affect the price in the market,
how many will?
They have supposed to affect right now in a good way.
Right. So why is the price still dropping?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, my friend, as you may know, and I'm pretty sure you know, we all know why the price is dropping. The price is dropping because many factors. For example, crypto winter, everything else in comparison is dropping. The world is hurting after COVID, meaning a lot more people need money. So a lot more people need to cash out. And price drops when more people are willing to sell than people are willing to buy. Right? And right now, still a lot of people are waiting to sell because, we did the whole insane growth and now we're doing the drop. And so everybody who's part of that insane growth wants to start selling part of their growth to make that earning. And of course, some people, we just have to sell to support our daily life. It is our daily income. So regardless of the really low price, we still have to sell the KOK that we have to make the income that we thought we were going to make. So there's still this demand of sellers, I guess, or there's a high number of sellers. And this is why it's still impact. The score just cannot recover. As it tries to go up, all the people waiting to sell sells. Tries to go up, everybody waiting to sell sells again. So this is why it's going to do this struggle. And it's going to be like this for a while, I think, at least till the end of the year. But the effects of cutting 224 million out of circulation is definitely playing a role. It's just right now we cannot see it because of all the different market factors that is pushing it in the opposite direction. Does that make sense?
Okay, sir. Thank you very much. And again, please take care of your voice, okay?
Thank you. No worries. Thank you so much. You're very kind. So let's be patient. I bet you get a lot of questions. My 80% of the day is spent for me explaining why the current crash in the coin is not the craziest thing that is supposed to happen. It's going to continue. Is it going to be completely bad? Is this another Luna situation? No, that's not how our coin works. We still have an ecosystem. We have users all across the world who wants to use this. Platform still going strong. The beta, the K-Stadium beta is still going strong. So everything is going in the right direction. It is just a very a bearish market that we have to just kind of struggle through, and then from this point on, the only thing you can do is go up, right? So we're gonna have to wait for that. That would be my best answer, my friend.
Okay, can I ask you a personal question? Not personal question, your personal opinion.
Okay,
it's a personal opinion. What about the price in the app?
Is that going to change? Are they going to change that?
Yeah.
Hey, look at that. At the same time, the question, when KOK platform price adjusts soon?
Because I think many people is not worried about if the market price, because that's naturally for the coins. That's naturally, all the coins go up, go down. That's normally.
But it's
But
unusual
people,
to have
but
a
people
market
that
price of
that
$7 that is kind of set
yeah,
that
yeah,
doesn't move.
that is stressful for people.
I know, I
That is
know,
stressful, big stressful. So,
I know, I
but
know. Yeah, no, for sure. No, I have to do the math for them. And some people, like literally it's their first day to understand that that value is not the value they think it is. And when they realize that the $10,000 is only worth $2,000, they're like, excuse me.
yeah, that's true.
So I get you. Okay. There has been confirmed rumors. Was it in the announcement? Apparently it was in the announcement, right? There was an announcement that they will adjust the price, right? Yes, there was. Yes. And I think it was
In
you,
announcement, yeah.
Lynn, who let me know that they did put that up there. And yes, we confirmed that. And the part of the announcement, they did put that they will adjust the price or the platform price. How, in which direction? Well, it only makes sense they'll adjust it to go down. When? Okay. They haven't said, and I haven't gotten any like insider scoop. And trust me, if I did, I'll be sort of hinting at it right now, but I really haven't. But the conversation that I'm hearing is they are afraid to change that price because it will suddenly create more sellers.
Yeah, of course.
And, we are all worried that the current price is dropping so much because so many people are willing to sell. So if they adjust the price into the point that it benefits a lot of these people to just, let's say, cancel their account or cash out at an insane amount at the same time, it's just going to crash the price even more. And the human psychology, if we see something crash, we start to panic. And when we panic, that's when panic sell starts.
Panic.
And this is not something that they wanted to happen. So I think that is why they're trying to hold on till the very last minute possible for this to be the least amount of negative impact to the price. So this is why there are basically no news about this price adjustment in the most recent announcements. That's my logical, personal guess. And in my personal opinion, do I think they're going to reduce the price? Yes, I think they are. They must. When will be my best guess on when they're going to do that? I think they're going to wait for all the asset promotions to happen first, and then they're going to change the price. Because right now we're still pending. There's still people in the first asset promotion that they are waiting because they did less or more than 50%. It's been almost a month and a half. They're still waiting. But if they adjust the price now, while these people are stuck in limbo to change or send that money over, it's just going to create a complicated mess of people saying, whoa, wait a minute, I'm not going to move anymore. I'm just going to stay here. But the foundation wants people to go into K Stadium for sure. This is whenever there's like a promotion, that directly tells you what the foundation wants. They want people to invest into K Stadium. They want that flow of money to go in there. They want people to reduce the supply because they want to increase the value of KOK out there, right? So they're always there. It might be frustrating, but every time there is always a change that they're doing and announcing and actually making an effect, it's always in best regards of the value of KOK. It really is, because you have to understand they own 3.5 billion of it, right? So it's their asset too. When it's 45 cents in the market, it is their 3.5 billion KOK worth 40 cents out in the market as well. They also benefit with the rise of the value of KOK. So they will always act in the best interest for the value of KOK, which is what we also worry about. So this I can tell you in comfort. And if they're not doing it, they're not doing it for a reason to help the idea of not reducing the price of KOK further. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah, of course. No, they have sense that many people,
Yeah.
many people,
Yeah. It's just, I think a lot of us are always, we're so used in the mindset, which is kind of like the people versus the company. And I think that was a fair model when it was like a platform economy. You have the company who's always trying to benefit by creating a market and people spending money. But in a protocol economy, which really KOK is, we always have to kind of keep in mind that this has to be a different mentality. The foundation is as much as in on this than as we are. They are like, the price drop hits them harder than it hurts us. So we really have to think about Why are they doing this? It's really in the benefit of the entire community and the KOK ecosystem. That is the only reason they would do something like this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. I don't take more your time because I know many people maybe want to make questions. So
Thank you so
thank you
much.
very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Always great talking to you. Thank you, my friend.
You too.
Okay, so I'm going to lower your hand and mute you. Thank you very much. Lower your hand. Good, good. Any other people who have questions, just raise your hand, press that little button. I can unmute you, or you can be like Dennis and Lin here and ask your questions on the chat. So Lin, I hope I answered your question at the same time as I did over there. Dennis, you've asked, if our KOK will be deposited in K-Ethereum and it will be out of circulation. Now, if all of this who deposited, they will receive also reward in form of KOK. So it seems to supply of KOK still will rise up. I think only through burning will decrease supply of KOK. Is it right? Dennis, you're not wrong. Your concept is, your logic is sound. You're right. So, but remember, 220% has been locked in. And out of that, 4% is coming up monthly. So they're buying time through this, right? And the KOK that comes out of circulation through K Stadium is actually coming out in KOK coin. So the foundation through K Stadium, they're really doing like a 2-bird, 1-stone strategy. One benefit is the very quick and timed reduction of supply of KOK, and they're locking off the tokens out into circulation. And then the rewards that they give out is going to be in the KOK coin. And this transition from token to coin is something that needs to happen naturally anyways. So through this early investment, they're really taking advantage of people willing to put it in and transitioning it into the KOK coin form, which they want. So is it like a one-on-one thing, as in if one coin comes in, one coin goes out? If that's the case, then you're right. It wouldn't decrease the supply. But because that's not the case, it's 100 goes in, 4 comes out every month, right? So it does reduce the supply. And that's what they're doing. They're buying that time for the price to go up. But in the end, there should always be a certain amount of KOK coin out in circulation. And that number right now in the beginning, it was set 5 billion, right? So if, let's say, 200 million tokens go out of circulation, right now circulation is low, and they can technically pump out 200 million KOK coins and they maintain the same supply, but they have not yet, right? Remember, only 100 mil a year is supposed to come out through circulation. So it's a sound model to decrease supply. Is my best answer to you, Dennis. Yeah, I got a thumbs up. Thanks, Dennis. Cool. Any other questions, my friend? It is 10:54 here on Toronto. You can please be brave like Dennis, Lin, and my friends here from Colombia. Ask me questions. It is AMA. Any questions is fine. You can ask me how my day was. Really, ask me anything, right? Personal questions are fine too. I'll try to answer my best with my opinions. And remember, I am right now every day working here at the DA office here, explaining the situations, leading these people, that's probably poor choice of words, leading the people who are willing to invest in the SO, that is Dream Achievers. And what we want to do is, this is exactly what we want to do. We want to give informed decisions to the people, be the leader, be the first person to understand how this ecosystem is going to work, how it's going to impact us, how it's going to change. We give you those information so we can give the best choices and, of course, the best leadership through the SO that we are here in North America. So it is really our vision. Later on, as the beta version stops and becomes more of a stable versions out there, there will be a day where we can cash out these coins or transfer these coins through centralized exchanges, decentralized exchanges. We can send it to one another. We can use it as a form of asset, as a form of currency. And that's going to be such an exciting time for us. I know right now cryptocurrency is in a winter, and my personal opinion from what I'm seeing in the current trend of time, cryptocurrency is not going away, but the current financial system is freaking out because of cryptocurrency. because one, they don't know how to control it. They want to control it, but they don't know how. And it's evolving so rapidly that they're doing their, like, one of their very final fights against cryptocurrency, trying to demoralize it, shake it up, or put it into winter. But really, it's not going anywhere. It's going to fight stronger. And it is, like, in my opinion, this is what is next. And we right now are really learning and understanding and putting our heads in here and getting the right headaches, because through this, when this is over, when this winter is over, and when cryptocurrency takes into boom, you will be the leaders in the whole cryptocurrency market, which is how the finance market or the currency market will work for the rest of the generations to come. I truly believe that. And I think this is one of the main reasons that I'm so excited to be part of the KOK community, to talk to you guys, to do my research, to do my homework, to ask you questions, to have these questions asked for me, and to really share this opportunity and knowledge with you. And that, my friends, if that does not represent what KOK, or Keystone of Knowledge, KOK, if that doesn't represent what KOK is, I don't know what else does. So that's my 2 cents, my friends. I feel like we have no more questions for tonight. It is 10:57. Oh, have you talked about the final confirmation, the consent of the site for the second promotion? Yes, I have, Janice. If you have participated on the first and second promotion and didn't get an email, go to event.kstadium.io anyways and do it right now. My second question was, I got my SOP. Now what? Well, you delegate it. And who do you delegate it to? Well, of course, the best node in North America, which is DA node. Haha. I can say that very confidently, but of course, you must think now as an investor. It is still in beta phase, so there's no real big differentiation between who you invest in. As long as it's in an SOP, invested in one, and then maybe later you can make different decisions, but really don't wait too much. Don't have the SOP just sitting in your wallet, do nothing. Make it make you money. So definitely invest. My best guess is, if you really don't know how to, where to, like, what should you think about? How can you choose? Well, as you delegate, think about the DA node, put it in as you believe in what I do. This is kind of in regards of what you said, Janice. If you did the second promotion and, oh, the consent site. Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe I misunderstood you. It is event.kstadium.io. And if you want to know, it's in Korean, I bet. So if you want to know, oops, that probably doesn't help you click that, right? So let me put it into a link form, eventkstadium.io. If you want to understand how to navigate through the pages, again, in this second link that I've made for you is a Linktree link, which means there are a bunch of links you can click on, Linktree KStadium. You will notice that one of the buttons says download the slides from Joony. And in those slides, you'll see how to accept 100% promotion. It's a big picture. You can kind of scroll along to see. I've shown you what those Korean words on the pages mean. It's very simple to follow through. I've seen many people do it. You can also ask Google to kind of do an automatic translation for you for the page. So you can definitely do that. Jessica, you wrote, I'm completely new to this. I'd like to know if there's a step-by-step guide for meetings that's available to newbies like myself. Jessica, our Mondays are perhaps a better time for you to join in, meaning I do this exact same thing, but on Mondays. So if you're joining on a Friday, then it's, of course, Tuesday morning for you, but it's Monday nights for me here. I do a little bit more of a general first-timer explanation of what KOK is, KStadium is. But of course, if you go onto that same Linktree link, you can check out our older videos of our Monday nights, and it's almost the same information. Just as time goes by, I put more updates into it if there are any changes. So try to look at the more recent videos up there if you don't have time to join on Mondays. So definitely check out those videos, and it will be more of a step-to-step guide. If it's a step-to-step guide on, like, how do I make an account? How do I invest? Oh, that's there's no video like that yet. I really should make a video like that. I wish there's 2 Joonys. But again, that's a pretty good request. I think I should make a video in English on how to make an account and how to refer somebody with your code. That's a pretty good video. So again, in my very limited spare time that I have, I'll try to make those videos for you guys. Okay. That is 11:01. That's ding, ding, ding for me for tonight. As you can see, my voice is going away, so I'm going to keep my day short and only keep it an hour for today. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. You're welcome, Jessica. Yeah, so subscribe to our YouTube channel. If I make a new video, you'll get a notification that, hey, Joony made a new video, and it might be one of those videos on the step-to-step guide that you're looking for. So with that, I bid you guys all good night or good day, depending on where you are in the world. Have a wonderful rest, a safe, wonderful week and a weekend that is upcoming. And for those of you in Canada, happy long weekend for civic holiday. And I will, despite the civic holiday, or maybe there won't be a session on Monday. But if there isn't, I'll make sure on the link, I'll let you guys know that you can check out the videos. Thank you for everybody. Thank you so much for being here with me, for being part of our ecosystem and this community. This is what it's all about. I will see you guys on the next one. Have a good night. I'm going to put some music on, put 2 minutes onto the timer, and bid you good night.